The courtroom is still, almost oppressively so, as Kody Brown steps forward. Every polished surface in the room reflects the harsh overhead lights like mirrors of anxiety. Kody's hands are clasped tightly in front of him, his knuckles white, but his face is a careful mask, betraying nothing, or at least trying not to. Christine sits on one side, her hands tightly folded, eyes sharp, scanning every movement. Robyn across the aisle sits with her shoulders squared, lips pressed together, and hands clasped in her lap. Every exhale, every shuffle of a paper, every barely audible cough seems to echo louder than it should. The judge clears her throat. We are here to address the custody and financial claims within the Brown family. Her voice is firm, yet calm, slicing through the tension in the room like a knife. The courtroom holds its collective breath, as if the words themselves are a prelude to chaos. Meri fidgets, then leans into Janelle, whispering something under her breath, and Janelle nods subtly, though never removing her eyes from Kody. This is more than just a courtroom. It's a stage for silent negotiations, for the unspoken alliances and grudges that have simmered for years. The first witness is called, a longtime family friend, someone who has seen both the love and the cracks that have formed over decades. She rises, voice trembling slightly, and begins recounting stories from years past. I've known the Browns for decades, she says. I've seen them celebrate together, fight together, but I've also seen manipulation, control, and fear. Things left unsaid, tensions left unresolved. It all builds. Christine leans forward, her tone sharp and accusatory. Fear? That's your word for sleepless nights? For whispered arguments in the dark? For constant worry about the choices made behind closed doors? She swallows hard, her emotions raw, her voice cracking just slightly, betraying the vulnerability she rarely shows. The next to rise is Robyn, her hands quivering as she grasps the witness stand. Her voice is low, yet laced with years of bottled frustration. Loyalty, trust. I tried. I really tried to make this work, to honor the family, to honor love. But there comes a line where patience ends, where truth has to be spoken out, even if it shatters hearts. Shocking moment. Stay with me. The next revelation that will shock you could change everything about the Brown family. The first document is laid on the table, a handwritten letter, old but still poignant, its ink faded with time. Kody's eyes flicker across it, betraying a brief moment of unease. Christine's gaze sharpens, and Robyn's lips tighten. Everyone leans forward in anticipation, the air thick with tension. The judge gestures toward Kody. You may respond. Kody gets up slowly, his voice measured and heavy with emotion. I never wanted this. None of you can fully understand the weight I've carried, the choices made with the best intentions. I'm here to be honest as I know how, and I hope that it's enough. The courtroom holds its collective breath. Minutes turn into minutes of complete silence, with only the soft rustling of papers and the slight crackling of chairs heard. Lawyers glance at one another, preparing for the next move, knowing full well that every word, every hesitation could tip the scales. Meri's voice cuts through the silence, small yet cutting. Honest? That's one way to put it. But actions speak louder than words, Kody. Actions speak of fear, of secrets, of choices that hurt more than they healed. Christine leans back, swallowing hard. Her hands shake a little, but her gaze doesn't leave Kody. We trusted you. I trusted you. And now, here we are, our lives dissected under the scrutiny of the courtroom, our pain documented and questioned. Robyn looks up at Christine, her eyes holding a mixture of fear and defiance. Trust isn't blind. It's earned. And sometimes, truth arrives late, too late to prevent the wounds from forming. Retention booster. Keep watching. What's about to surface could change your perception of every Brown family decision. And then the tension builds as the judge calls for the next piece of evidence. A set of emails and messages between Kody and a previously unnamed confidant. The room leans in en masse, seeking knowledge while simultaneously still fearing the consequences. Every line of text, every carefully worded phrase, conveys fractures and loyalties, showing how complex these relationships are. The deliberate movement of his feet carrying him towards the witness stand. I know mistakes have been made. Choices that perhaps seem selfish, even cruel. But the truth is rarely simple. I tried to protect everyone in ways you may never understand. Christine's eyes narrow. Protect? Or control? There's a difference, Kody. And one day, the truth can no longer hide behind intentions. One day, everyone sees the consequences. Robyn wipes a tear from her cheek, her voice barely above a whisper. It's not just about protection. It's about honesty, transparency, love without conditions. That's what we've been fighting for. That's what we deserve. Retention booster. You won't believe the next document that is revealed. It may break alliances and uncover the deepest secrets of the Brown family. Lawyers shuffle papers, calling witnesses to corroborate these messages. Emotions escalate as each wife remembered pivotal moments, whispered arguments in hallways, conversations hidden behind closed doors, decisions made to keep the family together that instead left scars. Meri's voice cracks as she recounts a particularly painful memory. I walked into the house one night, expecting the family I knew, and found a reality I didn't recognize. Choices made without me, secrets kept that left me questioning everything I believed. Christine's face tightens, and she raises her voice. And yet, we are here, required to deal with the legal consequences, yes, but also the personal betrayals, the words, the silences, the moments that always test loyalty and that are now exposed for judgment. Kody's own testimony grows, defensive, yet raw. I never wanted to hurt anyone. My decisions were based on love, on trying to keep this family intact. I can't undo the past, but I stand here ready to face it. The courtroom is hushed into suspended silence, as every heart beats together and every breath is kept shallow. The presentation of a new document is made, official, stamped. The legal confirmation that might just redefine financial responsibilities and custody arrangements. The room responds in an instant. Eyes widen, breaths catch, and Kody's carefully controlled expression falters. The lights in this courtroom seem harsher, casting long shadows against the polished wood floors. Every glance, every movement is magnified under the scrutiny of the judge and spectators. Robyn sits with her hands tightly folded in her lap, her knuckles white, her face calm but rigid, a mask to hide the storm inside. Across the aisle, Christine's fingers drum nervously on the armrest. She has fire in her eyes, and anger, grief, and disbelief. The next witness is called. She's someone few expected. Robyn's close confidant, a quiet observer of the family's hidden struggles. She rises slowly, taking the stand with a palpable weight on her shoulders. Her voice is shaky, but gains strength as she begins. I've watched Robyn struggle. I've seen her carry burdens no one else knew about. Secrets, lies, things she could not reveal without risking everything she loved. The courtroom holds its collective breath. Christine leans forward, lips pressed tight. Secrets? Lies? What are you talking about? Robyn's eyes flicker towards Kody, a question unspoken, yet screaming in her gaze. Were you honest with me? The witness talks further about private conversations, hidden decisions, and moments where Robyn's voice was silenced by fear of upsetting Kody or the family dynamic. She pauses, swallowing hard, her eyes brimming with tears. I wanted to speak sooner, but I didn't know how. The truth seemed too heavy, too dangerous to share. But it has to be told now. Retention booster. What Robyn reveals next will shock you, making you question everything you thought you knew about the Browns. Christine's voice cracks with emotion, a mixture of accusation and pain. Dangerous or convenient? How long were you hiding things from the people who trusted you most? Her sharp words hang in the air like a sword. Kody shifts in his seat, his jaw tight. Robyn straightens herself, trying to keep some composure. I tried to protect everyone, she admits, voice quivering. I thought that would be enough to keep the family together. But it wasn't. It only made the cracks deeper. The judge nods to the attorney, who submits an assortment of emails and text messages, correspondence displaying secret alliances, backroom decisions, and divided loyalties. Each message is read aloud, word by word, filled with innuendo. The air thickens with tension. Meri leans forward, her voice barely above a whisper to Janelle, her hands trembling slightly. This changes everything. I can feel it. There's no way this ends quietly. Janelle nods, though her eyes remain locked on Kody, searching for the faintest hint of remorse or truth. The witness takes a deep breath and says what everyone was waiting for. There were meetings, decisions, and promises that were kept from Christine, from Meri, even from Kody, in ways he couldn't fully control. The family dynamic was manipulated, sometimes intentionally, sometimes out of fear, but it shaped everything that followed. Retention booster. Pay attention. The next plot twist sends every member of the Brown family reeling. Christine bangs her hand lightly on the armrest, unable to restrain herself. Manipulated? We were living inside a lie? Her voice rises, echoing slightly in the courtroom. How could you let this happen under my nose? Robyn, still shaking, finally speaks for herself. I wasn't perfect. I made mistakes, yes, but every action came from love, from trying to preserve the family. I never intended to hurt anyone. Kody gets up, his voice even and yet full of emotion. We all made choices that we thought were right. None of us are blameless. But I never wanted this chaos. I never wanted anybody to feel betrayed. The judge calls for order, bringing her gavel down lightly. Enough. Let us proceed with evidence and keep your emotions contained. We are here to find the truth, not to rehash old wounds. The next piece of evidence is a series of financial documents. It becomes clear. Money, property, even custody arrangements have been deeply influenced by decisions made in secret. Christine's hands are shaking, Meri's lips are quivering, and Robyn is welling up with tears. Retention booster. What you're about to hear might upend everything the Browns thought they knew about trust and loyalty. The tension ratchets even higher when Kody is asked directly about these decisions. He takes a slow breath. His hands grip the edge of the podium. Yes, some choices were made without full disclosure. I thought I was protecting everyone. But the truth is far messier than anyone imagines. Christine leans forward, her eyes ablaze with fury. Messy? Kody, this is so much more than messy. This is betrayal. Years of trust gone. And now we're sitting here, facing the fallout. Robyn bites her lip, trying to keep her composure, but tears escape. It is not only about betrayal, she whispers, her voice barely audible. It's about understanding that even our mistakes come from love, fear, and desperation. The courtroom quiets once more as the final witness of the session is called. a longtime family advisor standing witness to years of patterns of secrecy, favoritism, and hidden tensions. His voice is calm, almost too calm, and yet every word has weight. The family dynamic has always been fragile. Small choices ripple outward, creating consequences none of you fully anticipated. Loyalty, love, and control are intertwined in ways it is now impossible to disentangle. Kody exhales slowly, a man on the edge of exhaustion and revelation. Christine's eyes are wet with tears, but her voice is steely. And now, the consequences are here. We face them in full view of the law, but also in full view of ourselves. Retention booster. Prepare yourselves, because the next confession will make you rethink every relationship in this family. As the session nears its end, a surprise twist is thrown in. The judge orders something to be entered into evidence, an envelope that had been sealed until now. The courtroom leans in awkwardly, almost unable to bear the weight of anticipation. Kody's face whitens. Robyn closes her eyes a moment, as if to steel herself. Christine's hands shake. Meri swallows hard, rendered speechless. Inside the envelope is the evidence that will unravel alliances, showing the betrayals that no one, thus far, has expected. The room is filled with whispers and gasps. The heavy silence is broken by a single, almost inaudible exhale. This could be the moment that redefines custody, finances, and the very core of trust in the Brown family. Today, the courtroom feels smaller. The tension so thick it seems to press against every chest. Every movement, every glance is magnified. Kody sits in the center, hands folded, jaw tight. Christine leans forward, eyes sharp, scanning every twitch and shift. Robyn's hands fidget in her lap, trying to hide the tremor in her fingers. Meri's lips are pressed together, a silent witness to the storm that is about to erupt. The session opens with Christine standing to the podium. Her face is red with emotion, a righteous fury mixed with deep pain. "You lied to all of us," she shouts, her voice ringing through the room. "Every one of us trusted you. We gave you our hearts, our lives, and you hid things from us." Kody opens his mouth, but the judge raises her hand to silence him. "You will speak when called upon. The court will hear the evidence first." Christine's eyes catch and hold onto Kody's unblinkingly. "Do you understand what it means to betray a family like this, to manipulate their love and loyalty?" The slight crack in her voice underlines every word with a raw note of heartbreak. Robyn rises more slowly, the tears welling in her eyes. "Christine, it is not as black and white as that. We made choices, yes, but every action came from fear, love, or the desperate hope to keep this family together." Her words hang in the air, heavy with regret. Retention booster. Hold on. The following revelation will make every Brown family member question the things they thought they knew about loyalty and trust. The attorneys then call the next round of witnesses, people who have witnessed the Browns behind closed doors, working through the difficulties of their polygamous family dynamic. With each more incriminating testimony after another, hidden conversations, secret decisions, and actions that were in direct opposition to what had been told to the wives begin to surface. A murmur ripples throughout the courtroom as the web of deception starts to unravel. Meri's voice shakes as she recounts one painful memory. "I walked into the house that night, expecting a family I knew, but found a reality I didn't recognize. Secrets, decisions made without my knowledge. It left me questioning everything I believed in." Christine's hands shake slightly, her voice sharp. And now here we are, facing the truth, not just legally, but emotionally. Every choice, every word hidden, every silence is out. We are left to face the consequences. Kody rises to testify. His voice is calm but strained, carrying the weight of years of guilt. I never wanted to hurt anyone. Every decision I made was to protect the family, to keep us together. I know that doesn't erase the pain, but it's the truth I can give. The next piece of evidence, ordered by the judge, involves emails and messages between Kody and his confidants. Each message seems to unravel layers of manipulation, indecision, and secrecy. Christine leans forward, her lips pressed tightly, her eyes ablaze with a mixture of betrayal and anger. Robyn briefly closes her eyes, whispering a silent apology to the family for mistakes she feels responsible for. Retention booster. You won't believe what's next. It's a plot twist nobody anticipated, and it will change the Brown family forever. The tension spikes as the lawyer brings out a surprise witness, someone previously considered to be in Kody's corner. They step forward calmly but firmly and begin to testify about the decisions that Kody made in secret from the family. The courtroom reacts instantly, gasps, wide eyes, and a few swallowed sobs ring through the room. Kody's face pales. Robyn's hands are shaking. There are tears wetting Christine's eyes, though her voice is strong. All this time, she whispers, and we were blind. The witness describes private meetings, secret financial arrangements, and conservations contrived to influence the family without their knowledge. With each revelation, the tension mounts a notch, deepening a growing sense that nothing about this family has been as it seemed. Meri breaks down, her tears flowing freely. I trusted that we were all equal, that we were all seen, and yet decisions were made that excluded me. Decisions that hurt me and my children. How could this happen? Kody gets up again, voice trembling now. I never wanted this chaos. Every choice was made with love, even if it was flawed. I didn't realize the depth of the pain it would cause. Retention booster. Stay with me, as what happens next will show the reality about the most guarded Brown's secrets. Christine rises to her feet, her voice rising in anger and grief. Flawed? Flawed doesn't even begin to cover this. We stand here today, bereft of illusions, confronting the repercussions of choices made without our knowledge. And now, we demand answers. Robyn steps closer toward the stand, hands clasped tightly together. Answers won't fix the past, but honesty might prevent further damage. That's all I can offer. The courtroom descends into a tense silence, disturbed only by the soft rustling of papers and the more distant ticking of a clock. The judge looks at Kody with quiet authority. It's now time to turn to the documents presented. They contain the evidence that could redefine family structure, custody, and financial arrangements. The documents are opened, and a hush falls over the room. Our narration camera lingers on each reaction. Kody's eyes widen slightly. Robyn bites her lip. Christine's hands shake, and Meri's jaw tightens. The evidence reveals hidden financial transfers, previously undisclosed agreements, and actions that challenge every assertion Kody has made about his honesty and intentions. The courtroom feels heavier today, as if the walls themselves are pressing in. Every seat is tense, every eye fixed on Kody, who sits like a man walking a tightrope. One wrong step and everything could collapse. Christine leans forward, her jaw set, hands shaking ever so slightly, betraying the storm beneath her composed exterior. Robyn sits beside her, lips pressed together, holding back tears that seem ready to spill at any moment. Meri's hands fidget, gripping the edge of her seat, and Janelle's eyes flicker nervously between the players, sensing the explosive potential in every interaction. The surprise comes from the very first moment when a previously unknown witness is called into the courtroom. She steps forward, poised yet determined, and the courtroom hushes in an instant. This is a person who has been close to Kody for many years, someone who has seen decisions made behind the scenes that shaped their family in ways nobody quite understood. Her voice is calm, almost chilling in its clarity. "I've observed the Browns for years," she begins, "and what has unfolded here is the result of deliberate choices, hidden agendas, and secrecy. Kody made decisions, financial, personal, relational, without informing those most affected. The consequences have been profound." Christine stands up, her voice shaking with anger. "On purpose? Hidden agendas? How long were we kept in the dark?" Her hands quiver, fingers closing on the edge of the armrest. "How long did you let us live a lie?" Robyn's eyes well with tears. "Christine, please, this isn't simple. None of it was black and white. Kody's decisions, mine too, were made with the hope of preserving the family. We didn't always know the impact. Shocking moment. Prepare for a bombshell. The next revelation will shatter every assumption about trust in the Brown family." The witness continues, relating secret meetings, undisclosed financial arrangements, and private conversations that were meant to influence family dynamics without consent. Each revelation is akin to a knife to the heart of the courtroom. Christine gasps audibly, Robyn bites her lip, and Meri's hands tremble. Kody shifts uneasily in his seat, finally breaking his composed facade by slight furrowing of the brow. The lawyers press on, needing details. "Why were these decisions made in secrecy?" one asks. The witness hesitates for a fraction of a second before responding, her voice steady but heavy with implication. "Fear. Fear of confrontation. Fear of hurting loved ones. And perhaps, fear of losing control." Meri's voice breaks as she leans forward. "Fear. You call betrayal, secrecy, and manipulation fear? That's not an excuse. That's a cage. We were trapped in a life that wasn't fully ours." Kody stands, his voice shaking despite his effort at calm. "I never wanted to hurt anyone. Every decision, every choice, I believed it was for the greater good, to preserve love, to preserve the family. I know I failed in ways I cannot undo." Christine's tears spill over, her voice rising. "Love? Preserving the family? You call this love? We are here, stripped bare of trust, forced to confront your choices in front of a judge and witnesses. Love doesn't hide from truth. Love embraces it. Retention booster. Stay with me. The next confession will leave the entire Brown family reeling." The judge calls for a series of letters and messages to be presented. The most confidential correspondences that had been buried for years. The room collectively leans in, the heartbeat racing. Every line exposes a layer of deceit, miscommunication, and decisions made without consensus. Robyn closes her eyes briefly, whispering a silent apology for mistakes she carries. Christine's voice is incisive, unyielding. These messages, these letters, they show the profundity of the manipulation, the things that were not said, the choices that hurt most. What love can be spoken amidst this? Meri's soft voice joins in, shaking, yet firm. "We were never equal in these decisions. Some voices were raised, others silenced. And now we must face the consequences, not just legally, but emotionally." Kody steps forward, hands on the podium. His voice is raw. "I made mistakes, yes. But everything I did, I believed it was to protect this family. I didn't realize how much pain it would cause. And now I stand ready to face it. The courtroom is quiet except for the light rustling of papers. Everyone waits with bated breath as the lawyers push for clarity on a sealed envelope that was presented earlier. Its contents promise to bring forth revelations that could shift alliances, confirm suspicions, and expose truths that no person is ready to face. Retention booster. You won't want to miss what's in this envelope because it might rewrite the story of the Brown family altogether. Finally, the envelope is opened carefully by the judge. The room leans in. Inside are documents detailing hidden financial transfers, undisclosed arrangements, and decisions that directly impacted custody, property, and family dynamics. Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Christine's hands tremble. Robyn's eyes go wide, and Meri's jaw tightens. Kody's face pales, the weight of accountability finally weighing down. The witness provides one last revelation. The decisions documented here were never malicious in intent, but they were manipulative in effect. They shaped the family's reality, created divisions, and tested loyalties in ways no one anticipated. Christine stands up. Her voice breaks. We trusted you, all of us. And yet, here we are, facing choices we didn't make, consequences we didn't consent to. Robyn's voice cuts through, in tears. And now, we have a chance, a difficult, painful chance, to confront it, to be honest, and perhaps rebuild what is left. Kody slowly exhales, eyes fixed on the judge. I've carried this weight for years. I know it doesn't absolve me, but I am here, ready to face everything. The session closes on a long, strained silence, the courtroom frozen, the weight of emotion well-nigh unbearable. It's certain that the next session will show even deeper betrayals, further test family loyalties, and confront secrets that will blow what little trust remains. The courtroom feels like a pressure cooker. Every face is tense, every movement measured, as if the air itself could ignite. Kody sits rigid in his chair, jaw tight, hands clasped. Christine's eyes are sharp, her body trembling with suppressed anger. Robyn wipes her eyes subtly, trying to compose herself, but the shake in her hand gives her away. Meri sits quietly, yet makes her presence known. She is the silent witness to years of secrecy, her pain barely contained. The session begins when the judge demands the final set of documents to be presented. The envelope laid on the desk from the previous session threatens like a bombshell, partly revealed. There is a gasp throughout the courtroom as the lawyer begins to read aloud. Financial transfers, undisclosed agreements, and choices Kody made without the knowledge of his wives. Each word cuts like a knife into the fragile fabric of trust, sharp with a mix of fury and hurt. This is more than just a mistake. This is betrayal. Years of loyalty, trust, and love, exposed like some public spectacle. She rises slowly, her voice trembling but steady. Christine, we cannot change the past. But the truth is here now. We must face it, together, or it will destroy what remains. Retention booster. Don't blink, but the next revelation will send the Brown family into complete chaos. Perry's voice breaks as the weight of years of pain seems to pour out. We were never equal in these decisions. Some voices were silenced, others were just ignored. And now, we are forced to confront consequences that reach to our children, our lives, and our very identity as a family. Kody steps forward, hands gripping the podium. His voice is raw, carrying the weight of guilt and desperation. I never wanted to hurt anyone. Every decision, every choice. I thought it was for the greater good. I see now how wrong I was. The judge calls for the next witness, a family advisor who over the years has been witness to patterns of secrecy, favoritism, and manipulation. The calm tone of the witness is a balm to the emotional storm in the courtroom. The family dynamic has always been fragile, he begins. Small choices ripple outward. Loyalty, love, and control are intertwined in ways that have left their lasting impact. The documents presented today verify what many have suspected but are afraid to acknowledge. Christine stands up, her hands shaking. We trusted you, Kody. I trusted you. And here we are, deprived of trust, facing the aftermath of the decisions made without us. Robyn steps forward, tears streaming now. I failed in silence. I thought I was protecting everyone, but my inaction contributed to this. And now, we must confront the truth. Retention booster. The next thing you are about to see will redefine every relationship in this family, and nothing will ever be the same. He shuffles papers and produces a new sealed document, one that had been held until the very minute. The courtroom grows silent, almost unbearably anticipating. Kody's face pales. Robyn closes her eyes. Christine's hands start to shake, and Meri swallows hard, as though preparing for the shock. Inside the envelope, evidence of clandestine meetings, secret communications, and choices that directly affected custody, finances, and family hierarchy comes to light. The air is filled with gasps. Christine's voice rises loud and clear, a mix of disbelief and anger. This is unimaginable. How could we have lived so blindly? Meri's voice trembles as she relays what the documents expose. Decisions were taken without accountability, without thinking about the emotional fallout. We were manipulated knowingly or unknowingly, and now we face the consequences. Kody speaks, voice cracking. I never intended to betray anyone. Every choice I made, I thought it was right. But I see now how deeply I've hurt all of you. Robyn adds, with tears streaming, the truth is painful, but it is also necessary. Only by confronting it can we hope to rebuild, if rebuilding is even possible. Retention booster. Hold on for the next confession, which will leave you speechless and change this family forever. The final moments of this session are a whirlwind of emotion. Christine's anger can be felt. Robyn's guilt cuts through the room like a knife. The heartbreak of Meri is almost palpable in the air, and Kody's vulnerability isn't subtle. Lawyers shuffle papers. Witnesses sit in tense anticipation. The judge watches, calm but firm, as the family faces the reality of their fractured relationships. The camera lingers on the faces of the Brown family as the session finally closes. All the faces marked in their own way by betrayal, secrets, and the weight of years of buried truths. The tension is near unbearable, but the audience knows that this is only mid-drama. There's more to be revealed, more confrontation to be had, and the story is far from over.